Have you ever felt manipulated or belittled by someone close to you? This is a question that, unfortunately, too many people can answer with a resounding yes. It's a feeling that's all too common, but not often enough understood for what it truly is: a symptom of narcissistic abuse. Narcissistic abuse, a term coined by psychologists, is a form of emotional and psychological manipulation. It's often perpetrated by those who exhibit traits of narcissistic personality disorder, a condition characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. But the word narcissist isn't always synonymous with abuser. It's the act of manipulation, the systematic breaking down of another's self-esteem and self-worth that defines narcissistic abuse. This form of abuse can occur in any relationship, whether it's with a family member, a friend, or a romantic partner. It's not confined to any one type of connection, but it thrives in those where the abuser can maintain control and dominance. The abuse can be subtle, a slow chipping away at your confidence until you're left feeling lost, alone, and utterly dependent on the very person causing you harm. Or it can be blatant and brutal, an onslaught of emotional torment that leaves you reeling. Often the abuser will use tactics such as gaslighting, where they manipulate you into doubting your own reality, or love bombing, where they shower you with affection and praise only to withdraw it without warning. These actions are designed to keep you off balance, unsure of your own perceptions and feelings, and completely under their control. Narcissistic abuse is insidious. It can creep into your life without you even realizing it, until one day you look in the mirror and no longer recognize the person looking back at you. It can leave you feeling isolated, confused, and questioning your own sanity. It can make you feel like you're the problem, when in reality, you're the victim. If these situations sound familiar, you might be dealing with a narcissist. Recognizing the signs of narcissistic abuse is the first step towards healing. As we delve into this subject, it's important to remember that these signs can be subtle and hard to pinpoint. They often take the form of manipulative strategies that leave you questioning your own reality. One of the most common tactics used by narcissists is gaslighting. This is a form of psychological manipulation where the abuser makes you doubt your own memory, perception, and sanity. You might find yourself constantly second-guessing your thoughts and actions, feeling confused and unsure of what's real and what's not. Emotional manipulation is another sign of narcissistic abuse. The abuser may use guilt, shame, or fear to control you. They might make you feel guilty for not meeting their unrealistic expectations, or they might shame you into submission. They might also use fear as a control tactic, threatening to leave you or harm you if you don't do what they want. Constant criticism is a third sign of narcissistic abuse. The narcissist might belittle you, make fun of you, or constantly point out your flaws. They might make you feel like nothing you do is ever good enough. This can lead to feelings of worthlessness and low self-esteem. A lack of empathy is another hallmark of narcissistic abuse. The narcissist is often incapable of understanding or caring about your feelings. They might dismiss your emotions, belittle your experiences, or simply ignore you when you're upset. This can leave you feeling isolated and alone. Lastly, it's important to remember that narcissistic abuse can happen in any type of relationship. It can occur between partners, within families, or even in professional settings. No matter where it happens, it's damaging and destructive. These signs are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to narcissistic abuse. Recognizing them is crucial, as it can help you take steps towards healing and recovery. It's also important to remember that you're not alone. There are resources available to help you navigate this difficult journey. You deserve to live a life free from abuse, and it's never too late to seek help. Narcissistic abuse doesn't just affect your mind, it can also manifest physically. The impact of this type of emotional trauma often goes beyond psychological harm, reaching into the realm of physical health. One of the most common physical symptoms of narcissistic abuse is chronic stress. You see, being in a relationship with a narcissist can be a constant emotional roller coaster, with highs of idealization and lows of devaluation. This constant unpredictability can put your body in a state of chronic stress, which can wreak havoc on your physical health over time. It can lead to a weakened immune system, making you more susceptible to illnesses and slowing down your body's healing process. Sleep disturbances are another common physical symptom. Many victims of narcissistic abuse report experiencing insomnia or frequent nightmares. This is often due to the anxiety and fear brought on by the narcissist's manipulation and abuse. And we all know that lack of adequate sleep can lead to a host of other health problems, from impaired cognitive function to increased risk of chronic conditions like heart disease and diabetes. Moreover, some survivors of narcissistic abuse also report experiencing physical pain or illness. This can range from frequent headaches and migraines to more serious conditions like fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome. These are often stress-related conditions, and we already know that narcissistic abuse can lead to high levels of chronic stress. It's important to remember that these physical symptoms are not just in your head. They're real, tangible manifestations of the harm inflicted by narcissistic abuse. They are your body's way of telling you that something is not right, that you're in an environment that is harmful to your well-being. So, if you're experiencing these physical symptoms, it's crucial to seek help, not just for your mental health, but for your physical health as well. Don't dismiss these symptoms as mere coincidences or as unrelated to your relationship. They could be crucial signals that your body is under the strain of narcissistic abuse. Your body might be telling you something about the quality of your relationships, so listen to it. It's one of the most reliable allies you have in recognizing and dealing with narcissistic abuse. There are lesser-known symptoms of narcissistic abuse that you may not be aware of. Let's venture into this often overlooked territory, where the signs are subtle yet profoundly impactful. First off, we have the persistent sense of dread or fear. It's not just about being scared of the narcissist's tantrums or outbursts. It's a constant, nagging feeling that something unpleasant is about to happen. You may find yourself always on edge, waiting for the other shoe to drop. This isn't simply anxiety. It's a byproduct of living in a volatile, unpredictable environment. Next, there's the sensation of being grossly misunderstood. You might feel as though no one truly gets what you're going through. Even when you try to explain, it seems like your words fall on deaf ears. This can lead to a sense of isolation and the belief that you're alone in your struggle. Then, there's the struggle with decision-making. Sounds simple, right? But for those enduring narcissistic abuse, even the most mundane choices can become overwhelming. You may second-guess yourself constantly, fearing the potential repercussions of a wrong move. This can lead to a state of indecisiveness where you're stuck in a loop of what-ifs and buts. It's also worth mentioning the feeling of being not enough. No matter how much you do, how much you give, it never seems to satisfy the narcissist. This can result in a deep-seated belief that you are fundamentally lacking, a painful and damaging thought indeed. Lastly, let's touch on the loss of self. Narcissistic abuse can erode your sense of identity to the point where you no longer recognize yourself. You might feel like a stranger in your own life, unsure of your own desires, beliefs, or values. Remember, these lesser-known symptoms are just as valid and important as the more commonly recognized ones. It's crucial to acknowledge and address these symptoms, as they can be equally, if not more, damaging to your overall well-being. Acknowledging that you're a victim of narcissistic abuse is a significant step towards recovery. In the course of this video, we've discussed how to identify the signs of narcissistic abuse. These signs can be subtle and manipulative, causing you to question your own perception of reality. We've also explored the physical symptoms, which can include chronic fatigue, insomnia, and a weakened immune system. Finally, we delved into the lesser-known symptoms such as feeling detached from your own life, struggling with decision-making, and experiencing an overwhelming sense of guilt or shame. Remember, these signs and symptoms may not all be present, and their severity can vary. But if you've recognized any of these signs in your own life, it's essential to seek help. Narcissistic abuse is not something to be taken lightly. It can have severe and long-lasting effects on your mental, emotional, and physical health. Recovery from narcissistic abuse is a journey. It requires patience, strength, and above all, support. You don't have to navigate this difficult path alone. There are resources available to help you heal and reclaim your life. One such resource is the Nurturing Coach website. Here you can find specialist therapy tailored to help you recover from narcissistic abuse. The key to recovery is understanding that you're not at fault. The manipulations and degradations inflicted by a narcissist are not a reflection of your worth. You are deserving of respect, love, and kindness. It may be a challenging journey, but with the right help and support, you can overcome the effects of narcissistic abuse. And so we've come to the end of our discussion today, but remember, this is just the beginning of your journey towards recovery. You've taken the first step by educating yourself about narcissistic abuse. Now it's time to take the next step. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more helpful content. And remember, you're not alone in this. Seek help and start your journey towards recovery today.